Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here to Sports Time HQ. I'm your host, Fernando. Joining with me today is both my great co-hosts, Keith and Gary. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, Fernando. How are you?
I'm doing good. Gary?
I'm doing good right now. It's a nice Thursday, so see what we can do tonight.
Yeah, obviously it is another week of mock drafts. Obviously, we're doing the NFL mock draft, but we got some things to talk about first. It's the proposed NFL rule changes that are going to be coming up in the committee when they have the meetings. I'm going to go with first by Detroit. They said to protect a club's ability to challenge a third ruling following one successful challenge. We're basically going to be saying, will they pass? Will they not pass? Do we think they're going to pass? Do they think we're not going to pass? And kind of, if we know exactly, if we don't know what it is, we can try and explain it. See if we can explain it right. So this one, I think I could see this passing. I think mostly 2/3 of the league is going to pass this. Basically, all they need is to challenge once. If they get it, they automatically get the third challenge possibility. Thoughts, prayers, actions, whatever you guys want to say.
I would imagine everybody would go for this one. It seems like an obvious one for teams and coaches to go for.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty balanced all around. It just makes sense, and a lot of teams are going to want this challenge. So I agree that it'll probably pass.
Yeah, I think really what it came down to is we don't see that many challenges. And I think that's because they try to hold the challenges in, because if you get one wrong, you automatically don't have a third one. So then you're left with just one more challenge. I think having this, if you're clear cut knowing you're going to win the first one, you can get two more right off the bat. So
okay. Yeah.
That was by Detroit. Detroit, they've done good with a rule change. This one is a little bit confusing. Maybe Gary, I don't know if you have insight. Keith and I have been back and forth on what this really means, but Philadelphia proposed to eliminate the first touch spot after the receiving team possesses the ball.
Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna try to analyze it though.
We were thinking that maybe it was like you punt it, and then the team that punts it can't touch it. You can't have that first touch and to stop the play of where the ball lands. Mm-hmm. You just have to let the ball roll. It's
okay.
A confusing one.
Possible.
It's a confusing one. It doesn't have too much detail on this.
Yeah. It's Philly, so we'll just say it's not going to pass because nobody likes Philly.
Yeah, I also don't believe it's going to pass. Let's go into what's another one we want to go into? Let's go to Indianapolis. Let's move to Indianapolis. So this permits a coach or a replay official inside the 2 minutes. So obviously you can't replay inside the 2 minutes. Only the replay officials can do that. But this time it is to challenge any foul that has been called. So I know we used to have the pass interference fouls. We used to be able to challenge that. That only lasted, a season or two? And then it got eliminated. This time you can challenge any foul and inside the 2 minutes. Do you guys agree? Do you think it's going to pass or not?
I don't know whether I agree with it because I just think it's stopping the game a whole lot more. You know what I mean? But I think it's another one the coaches might go for, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll pass, honestly, but I think that it should, and I think that it would make the game a lot better, especially with all the problems that we've been seeing from the refs in the past year or so. I think players and coaches would both like that, but I'm not necessarily sure that it'll pass.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to pass. I think what we saw with the pass interference fouls, we saw how much of a mess it was with officials. And I just don't find the league liking the foul calls, the foul challenges, because I think it's just going to be too much. Like, are you really going to foul a holding call or a blocking foul or whatever it is? I don't think it's going to pass. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it does. Going back to Philadelphia, I think this one's a good one, actually. So this permits a team to maintain possession of the ball after a score by substituting one offensive play, 4th and 20, from the kickoff team's 20-yard line from an onside kick. So instead of an onside kick, you do a 4th and 20. If you get it, you keep it. Thoughts?
Didn't they experiment this already in like a preseason or something like that? I think they might have, but I don't mind it. I think I don't think it'll go through, but I actually like the option of being able to go for it on 4 and 20.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. At first, I didn't really understand it, but now I think I wrapped my head around it. I think it's a good substitution for an onside kick because you see how rare that those happen, especially last year. I don't, off the top of my head, I can't recall how many there were, but I'm sure it was a low number. And I think that we would see much more closer games and comebacks happen with this miraculous one shot that you got at the end of the game.
Yeah, I like this a lot. We've seen onside kicks just be almost impossible to get. So why make it more fun? I mean, I think fans would love it. Now, the interesting part is, again, like Keith said, Philadelphia is the one that put this in, so we don't know if it's going to pass. But yeah, I like it. I don't know if it's going to pass. I hope it does because I think it makes the game a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. I mean, don't they do that in college football, Gary? I know you know a lot about college football. They don't.
No, they don't. I feel
That's
like
just for touchdowns, right?
So I
Or
don't know if you're
overtime? Sorry,
trying
overtime.
to. Yeah,
Overtime.
I think you're trying to refer to the overtime rule. Yeah, and I just saw what Brendan said in the chat. I think the XFL implemented that rule. I think that they do it right now. And I don't know if you're talking about the overtime rule in college football, but that's probably what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, the overtime rule. I'd like to see it though. I'd like to see it. I think it'll get passed. Going into this one is by a competition committee. So this one is to allow replay review when there is a clear and obvious visual evidence that the game clock expired before any snap. This one's an interesting one because obviously we've seen multiple times the clock go to 0, but the play still went off and it happened and everything went well. But then you have the other coach arguing. I don't see this passing though.
No, I don't see this one passing.
Yeah, neither do I, honestly.
Okay. This one, another one from the competition committee. This is to include a ruling of a passer down by contact or out of bounds before throwing a pass as a reviewable play. What's your thoughts?
These ones are like 50-50. I mean, it's another one I don't think it'll go through.
I'm not sure, honestly. Yeah, I agree that it's kind of like a 50-50. I will say it's not gonna pass. So.
Okay. Again, this is kind of going into the last one about challenging any foul or any of the game clock expiration. I think it's going to be the exact the same. I don't see this passing as well. I think it would be interesting though to be able to, because we see a lot of fouls of passers getting thrown out into the out of bounds, but I don't see it passing as well. Going into another competition committee one, this one is to allow for enforcement of a major foul by the offense prior to a change of possession in a situation where there are fouls by both teams. This one is too much. I don't understand why you're needing to make this all technical competition committee, but knowing them, they probably won't pass this. I don't see them passing it.
No, again, I agree with you. Like it's all kind of over the top, complicated stuff. I mean, it won't get past, I don't think.
Agreed.
Going to the next one. So this one's more safety, and this is why I think it's going to pass. The reason why I think it's going to pass is anything safety-wise, the NFL loves to pass right away. This is to expand the crackback prohibition to players who go in motion and move beyond the center to block a defender at or below the knee. I know they've been trying to eliminate anything below the knees. I don't see this one not passing. I think this will be an easy pass for them.
Yeah, I'm on the same side as you. And regarding safety, the NFL loves because that's the way they're going with everything. So, yeah, I'd say it passes.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get to this one and the sort of the horse collar tackle rule as well. I know they were trying to get rid of that last year, and I'm pretty sure they succeeded. Just doing all their best job to get rid of all the illegal tackles and injuries for players, especially older quarterbacks now. And it just makes sense to me that they're trying to keep all the players safe.
Okay. I think that this one is going to be exactly the same for all of us here. This one's another safety one. This eliminates a potentially dangerous tackling technique. I'm guessing this one is going to be, let me find the correct word, the hip drop tackle. This is basically to bring down an opposing ball carrier. The proposed definition is an infraction as it follows: when a player grabs the runner with both hands and wraps the runner with both hands and unweights himself by swiveling or dropping his hips and lowering the body, landing on or trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. This is another safety one. This is going to be passed as well.
Yeah, this one I think is obvious. There was a lot of these tackles last season. And probably most of the people being tackled were severely injured. So, yeah, I'd say this one gets passed.
Yeah, this is easily passed. These are the tackles that always lead to the broken ankles and separation of ligaments and stuff. So, yeah, that's easy.
See, here's my only concern with this. And the NFL Player Association also has a concern. How are the refs going to really able to determine what is a foul and what is not with this? I mean, it's kind of like the pass interference. Is it a pass interference? Is it not a pass interference? Is it a holding? Is it not a holding? I think this one is going to I think it's going to pass, but I don't know if we should pass it right away.
I think it's fairly obvious, though, with this one, like when the tackle happens. I mean, if you want to make it that's reviewable as well, that's fine. I don't know whether they go down that road to say, like, oh, wait, review that tackle. But, I mean, you can't have guys going off with serious injuries over one tackle. That happened a lot last year.
I think the only thing they're going to say is the amount of inadvertent tackles that happen and get called. And I'm not necessarily saying that that'll be the reason why they don't pass it or they don't call it penalties, because it's the same thing they do with a lot of the penalties that they call now, like face mask, for example. So I agree that it's kind of an up in the air whether it's going to pass or not.
Okay. This is one last one, and this one's actually a really interesting one. This is another one about the kickoff. So the NFL, they're aiming to remake kickoff formations and return options. Obviously, we've seen injuries happen during the kickoffs and how the formation is upon us with the whole thing. Basically, what's going to happen is there's going to be a designated landing zone between the receiving team's 20-yard line and the goal line. So the teams would only be permitted to place up to 2 returners. So between the goal line and the 20-yard line, you can only have 2 returners. And returners would also be unable to utilize a fair catch. So you can't call a fair catch between the goal line and the 20-yard line. I think they're planning to use this only 1 year. This is a 1-year trial. So if the kick does not reach the zone in the proposed rules, which means that's between the goal line and the 20-yard line, then the ball would be placed at the 40-yard line. So it's almost as if it went out of bounds. If it goes out of or is down inside the end zone, the ball would be going to the 35-yard line. And if it hits the zone, rolls into the end zone, it is down and it goes to the 20. So any ball fielded in the zone, meanwhile, would have to be returned. So onside kicks obviously would still remain under this proposal, but teams attempting them would be required to alert the opposing club. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I don't want to approve for a start. I'm sick of them messing off with kickoffs and stuff. It's just
they always keep messing around with the kickoff.
Totally overcomplicating a ball just being kicked down the field. Like, it's ridiculous. I like the old way, but obviously for safety reasons, where they get to run beforehand, kind of what they do in CFL. I like that format. I want to see the guys catching the ball and trying to run it back to the end zone. I mean, you're taking most of that out of the game already, and you're even going to go further. So, I mean, I don't know whether it'll get approved. I just don't want it to get approved.
Yeah, I would agree with Keith in the sense that I think they're just trying to, maybe not necessarily trying to ruin the game, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me what they're really trying to do here with all these changes to the kickoffs. I agree. It's just kicking the ball down the field and trying to get your team to the best field position that you're able to. So this rule implementation doesn't really make sense to me, and I hope it doesn't really get put into the game, because I think it would also be very confusing for a lot of newcomers and new people trying to understand the game.
Yeah, and also they would have the returning players, the receiving players. That team would all be lined up around the 35-yard line, and then the opposing team, the kicking team, would be just past the 40-yard line. So there's a 5-yard window between the two. But I completely agree with you guys. I mean, don't keep messing around with the damn kickoffs. I mean, Keith, I think you and I talked about this, having all these kicks going into the end zone and having a touchback. Why don't you move the kicker back a couple?
Yeah.
Like 5 or 10 yards. I think that would make the game more interesting than why having a landing zone and all this. I know you want to eliminate the injuries and everything. Maybe have what I just said, the 40-yard line with the kicking team, the 35 with the receiving team. But why have the whole landing zone thing? I don't think this is going to pass. So I agree with you guys. Unless you guys have anything else to say about any rules.
Nah, I mean, that one was just totally overcomplicating things just for a
Yeah.
kickoff, like basically what Gary was saying. So, yeah, I mean, that one should just be struck right off. But the others all probably have a decent chance, I'd say.
Yep. All right, going into the NFL mock draft, the one everyone is here for, of course. We had to talk about something else before we head into the mock draft. I know you all want to watch the mock draft, and I know we all want to do the mock draft. But again, if you haven't done so already, go to Underdog Fantasy, code SportsTimeHQ. They'll match first deposit up to $100. And if you're looking to purchase a trophy, ring, or a belt, go to trophysmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. March Madness is out, started today. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys made your brackets, but they do have rings, belts, and trophies for March Madness winners. So if you want to go on there and go buy that, trophysmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. Gary, who you got winning?
Hopefully Kentucky, because if so, it's a lot of money coming my way. But I'll be completely honest with you. That might be a reason why we started a few minutes late. That might have been what I was doing prior to this.
I see it. I see that.
Apologize to everybody.
Keith, do you guys have March Madness up there? Like, can you watch March Madness at all?
We can, yeah, we watch it. It's not something I bet on or anything like that, but I'll watch it.
Okay, I have UConn winning, Gary.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I have UConn, and then I have another one. I think the other one that's a perfect bracket right now is Creighton, the number 3.
I don't hate it. I have them in the Final Four. I love Creighton this year. So.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to some NFL talk. So this is how the mock draft is going to go. I am going to hold all the AFC and NFC North teams. Keith is going to hold all the AFC, NFC South teams. Gary is going to hold the AFC, NFC East teams. And then Gary's going to have the the AFC West, and Keith will have the NFC West. We're going to do the same thing that we used last one. We're going to use the NFL mock draft simulator. And let's start this. Oh, trades are allowable. So people in the comments, if you want to suggest any trades for any teams, by all means,
please
throw it in. Throw it down. I'm curious to see. I know Brendan's in the chat. He's a Bills fan. Maybe he wants to move up, trade back. I don't know. But let's go into it. Obviously, the NFC North starts first. Guys, do I want to mess up this whole entire draft and go with like Drake May or Jaden Davis?
I had a feeling you would do something stupid like that.
Go for it.
Should I? No, I can't. Caleb Williams is the number 1 clear-cut overall pick. He should be anyways. If the Bears don't, well, they suck anyways. So it doesn't matter. But Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft and consensus anyways.
All right, so I believe I am back-to-back on the East teams at 2 and 3. And I think both of these teams are going to end up taking quarterbacks no matter what.
Okay.
And I think I went with this last time. I'm going to say that Washington drafts May.
Drake May. Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
You're on the clock here before you make your pick. You're getting a phone call here. Here we go. You're getting a phone call. This is the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to move up to your number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will go into the trades with New England. Hold on. New England and Minnesota. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. I want your 3rd overall pick. I will give you the 11 and the 23.
Rain check on that. Rain check on that one.
I'm hanging up the phone.
What?
I am hanging up the phone.
You don't want to negotiate at all.
No. Why?
No negotiation.
Do you want to know why I'm hanging up the phone, Freddie?
Why are you hanging up the phone?
Because Jaden Daniels is going to be wearing a New England Patriots jersey.
No.
He is.
Oh, damn. I really didn't want you to take Jaden Daniels. I wanted the Patriots to get J.J. McCarthy, and I knew if I got that, I would get J.J. McCarthy to the freaking Patriots. Just please.
Unfortunate for you.
Okay. Well, now Keith is on, and Keith, are you getting a phone call? No phones are ringing. No phones are ringing. No phones are ringing.
Me with the Cards. They need a wide receiver. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. and off he goes.
You don't want Malik Neighbors?
Nah, I'm good.
Marvin Harrison. All right, you're back on the clock, Mr. Gary, with the AFC West.
Well, Keith and his Cardinals might not have wanted Malik Neighbors, but I think my Chargers sure do.
Okay.
Give Justin Herbert a wide receiver 1, considering the fact that he lost his 1 and his 2.
Here's my question.
It's pretty easy for me.
You take Malik Neighbors. What's your thoughts on Quentin Johnston?
I didn't like him coming out of the draft or coming out of TCU at all, to be completely honest with you. I didn't think he was going to be much of anything. But to be fair, he's only 1 year in, and he was the wide receiver 3 in that system. So maybe, who knows, maybe he does something this year. But I still think that if you're sitting here, you can't have Quentin Johnston at your 1, and I'm drawing a blank right now, but whoever they have there too, Jalen Guyton, I don't even know. Who else? Off the top of my head,
they have Joshua Palmer as well.
Yeah, Josh Palmer. So I don't think that's a 1, 2, 3 that you're going to want to run. And I think that if you're looking at the draft board right now, Malik Neighbors, arguably not in my opinion, but in a lot of front offices in this draft opinion, he's the number 1 playmaker in this draft. I think you have to go after him.
I've been seeing that a lot more. How Neighbors has been moving up. But I still think maybe you can argue Neighbors is really good, like playmaker, athleticism, but I think the overall dynamic NFL ready wide receiver is Marvin Harrison.
Right.
In my opinion. So Giants are on the clock. Gary, are you just gonna draft this whole entire first round?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I'm shaking my head, and you guys might be.
Wait, hold on. You're getting a phone call. You're getting a phone call.
From who?
The Minnesota Vikings.
They're desperate.
We need a quarterback. So do we. Here. Well, here's the thing. Are you thinking about drafting a quarterback here? This is general manager to GM talk. Are you thinking about taking a quarterback here?
That's what I was going to get at until my phone started ringing.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to move away from this pick?
Unfortunately, I do not.
Damn, these Vikings are screwed in this year's draft.
Indeed, they are, because the New York Football Giants will be selecting Michigan's own J.J. McCarthy.
No way. You're going to ruin my love for J.J. McCarthy. You're going to ruin
the Giants jersey.
You're literally going to ruin my love for J.J. McCarthy. I love J.J. McCarthy, and if he goes to the Giants, I have to hate him.
Why? He's a bum.
So that's why you want him to go to a bum team?
Yeah, actually. I hate the Giants too.
Do you think that J.J. McCarthy, all this hype, do you think this is going to be like a Will Levis situation where he might actually fall into the second round?
I think that if he doesn't go to either the Giants or the Vikings, he's not going to get picked in the first round.
Okay. I was curious. I think there's been so much hype. I've been seeing Michael Penix go in the first round, also Bill Nix in the same draft, and I just think that's too many quarterbacks in the first round. It's like how they had they had Kenny Pickett, Will Levis, and Desmond Ridder all going in the first round, and then I think they had Will Levis going as high as 3 at one point. So
yeah, no, can I say one thing? That's not necessarily the pick that I would make. I just think that's what they're going to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Have kind of Daniel Jones as that bridge quarterback, and then somehow figure
he's
out a
only
way
there
to
for
get
one
rid of
more
his
year.
money.
So,
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta suck for another year and then suck for the whole franchise decade.
I mean, they're stuck with a terrible quarterback anyways with McCarthy. So,
well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Keith, you're on the clock here. Tennessee Titans. You have Joe Alt, who many people might not think he might actually fall to 7. Are you taking Joe Alt? Or are you going wide receiver route or anything along those lines?
Nope. You already said who I was taking. Joe Alt is the guy, offensive tackle for Titans.
Okay. I like that pick. I think you can't go wrong with it. I mean, Gary, I think you can back us up. I think last week we had Joe Alt going here too, or maybe just a couple picks before. It was it was to the Chargers, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but I do remember Tennessee. We had Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, that's right.
Because you took Marv at 3.
I took Marv at 3 to the Patriots. I was really open.
Right.
Brendan says the Vikings are going to be fine. They're going to take Penix later in the draft. I mean, they could. They could take him or Bo Nix, whichever one they prefer, if they can't move up. Atlanta's on the clock. Keith, you're back on the board.
Again.
You're back on the board. You can go 2 different routes here, but I think
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, here's the thing.
I know what I'm thinking, so I'm going to see what you're thinking.
You could go with a star wide receiver, Dunze, but I don't think you're going here only because the free agent signings that you've done. I think you're going to go with an edge with either Dallas Turner or Jared Verse.
Nah, I'm going with wide receiver, but not the wide receiver you said.
No, really.
What?
I like Brian Thomas Jr., so that's where he's going.
No way!
Wow.
Yeah. Wow! That one's a.
Someone's got to put this mock draft was going 2 on form. Someone's got to throw a spin in the works. Come on, man.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I agree. Well, I'm gonna take the no-brainer pick here because I didn't think that Turner was gonna fall to number 9, but I also think Jared Verse might be just a little bit better. I'm gonna take Jared Verse.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, if I'm the New York Jets, seeing Rome Odunze sitting right in my lap, that's definitely where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I think you gotta take best available, and right now Dunze being there at 10.
Oh, hold on. My friend Cooper Daly is in the chat. He said Thomas Jr. at 8. Keith, you want to explain anything there?
Ooh.
What's this?
Thomas Jr. at 8, he says.
I just like him, so I'm picking him there. I got nothing much to tell more about these guys.
I also said his name because he's a Jets fan, and I don't know if he was expecting Odunze to be down this far. But congratulations, Cooper Daly. The New York Jets will be selecting Rome Odunze at 10.
I think Rome Odunze and Brian Thomas, I think they're both very talented. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, to be honest.
I mean, I don't know. I think Brian Thomas is very talented, but to be completely honest, other than Marv, I think Odunze is second best wide receiver in this draft. I think he's better than Neighbors. But
really?
That's just my opinion. So.
Really? You think so?
I do.
Okay. Minnesota's on the board after trying so hard to move up in the draft. All these GMs suck. They don't want to give me a quarterback up there. They couldn't give me JJ McCarthy. They couldn't give me Jaden Daniels. But I'm on the board. Do I want to take best available with Dallas Turner? I don't think I do. They don't need a tight end. I think they're going to have to go defense here, and they're going to try and go for a quarterback, maybe the 23rd overall pick. I think you're going to take Terrion Arnold. I think that's the corner you're taking. You could go with Kenyon Mitchell, but I think from Alabama, Arnold's better. My opinion. But Keith, you're having a lot of people like Thomas, but they don't seem going top 15. So I'm liking it. You're shaking up this draft.
That's what I'm here to do, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I was hoping I would get the Patriots pick and then pick someone wild just for the crack.
Were you going to take Joe Alt at number 3?
No, Brock Bowers or something I was going to put them.
Who's up? That's you, Gary, again.
I'm
Gary,
back
come
to
on.
back yet again.
I was looking. I've got like 4 or 5 in a row coming up. I was like, who the hell am I picking for these guys? Sorry, Gary. Off you go.
So I think the Broncos are going to go back to back with the Vikings in this case and draft Kenyon Mitchell. I think they went from having one of the best secondaries in the league to one of the worst. And I think this is an opportunity for them to restart.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
He has cornerback one upside, so why not?
I was thinking of possibly trading up to Denver, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
You're on the clock here with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I think I'm going to give you a phone call. I don't know. I think this is a shaky phone call, but I want to give it a chance. So I'm the Cincinnati Bengals. I'd like to trade up to number 13.
Okay.
Who are you thinking about taking here? What position, anyways?
Probably the same thing that you are, tackle.
Tackle? Well, I'm not looking for a tackle. I'm not looking for a tackle. I'm looking for a different position. I can give you. Okay, let's give it a trade offer. What we got? Las Vegas, LV. And then we got Cincy. I will give you, for your 1.13, I'll give you the 18th overall pick. I'll give you a 3rd round pick. And then I'll also give you a 7th round.
Who's coming up before me?
You got New Orleans, Indy, Seattle, and Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Take that. Boom. We have ourselves our first trade. Let's go. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. Cincinnati's on the board. They finally got themselves a trade. I managed to finally trade. They need a tight end. They're taking Brock Bowers.
Wow.
At 13.
Who's this? Cincy?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's who I would have picked later. They probably could have waited later on, but that's who I would have picked for Cincy.
I was nervous that New Orleans might be going for it, or even Indianapolis, because Indianapolis don't really have much receivers besides Michael Pittman, and who's their tight end? No one knows. It would make the most sense for them.
I think they just signed 2, but off the top of my head, I can't remember right now.
Yeah, no one that great as Brock Bowers.
Yeah, right, of course.
So, okay, New Orleans is on the board here. Keith.
Yeah.
Keith, you're thinking hard. Are you taking best available? You could take best available, or you could take the offensive tackle that is projected to go 214 to the New Orleans Saints in Fashanu.
That's who I was gonna go for. Fashanu. I was looking at him on edge, but the guy Latu.
Latu, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Fashanu.
Wow.
I was stuck between the two, so I'll go Fashanu.
Okay. Now you're on the board here with Indianapolis.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a minute, guys. I'm on the board for all time. I think these need receivers. These need everything. Holy crap.
They also need defense in a cornerback.
They need everything.
You could take another top corner, whether it's from Clemson, Nate Wiggins, or Cooper DeJean. Gary, did you have DeJean more over Wiggins last time?
That wasn't my feeling. I just think that Cooper DeJean is an Indianapolis Colt. I just feel it.
Yeah, okay. I remember, we were talking about how we think a corner is going to go here. That's where we think.
I already had Wiggins. I just like the name Kool-Aid McKinstry. That's just cool. But we can go with Wiggins here.
Wiggins? Okay.
Yeah.
Wiggins here. Seattle, you're on the board here. This is your team, Keith. This is your team.
Oh, who can I give them? They're not gonna really get. Who can I give?
I think this is a clear cut who you need to take. I think it's the best available here.
Who?
I don't know why. I don't know why Dallas Turner keeps falling.
Because he sucks. Who do I give my Seattle Seahawks?
You've got a lot of options. You need tackle.
We need D-line, guards, linebackers. We got rid of linebackers, and then they go, we didn't realize the linebacker market was going to go that fast, and then we got to. So
interior lineman.
Yeah, I was like, Great.
Yeah, Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy's still on the board. He's at 16. Or you can take an edge in Latu.
Yeah, I was going to go edge and Latu. Let's go edge and Latu. Seahawks will do something stupid anyways. Probably trade back.
That sounds like the Seahawks. I mean, I still think the Patriots might be trading back. Hopefully they do. Because I don't want them to take
Jacksonville again. Dude, why'd you give me so many in a row?
I didn't mean to. I didn't think that it was a lot of AFC, NFC South. We're back to back to back.
I'm giving these guys. They need defensive line help, dude. Them guys.
Taking an edge.
Edge or
D-line?
This guy Newton or Verse. Jared Verse.
I think Fernando took him earlier.
Did I take Verse?
Did you take him?
I took Verse. I took Verse.
Yeah, I will go with that guy Newton. I can't say his first name. Is it
Jerzon Newton?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, Jacksonville got a C+ for that pick. But it's not bad. It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick here. Raiders on the board.
It's also your second team, so I made sure I didn't go too high.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Keith. Thanks a lot.
I mean,
don't worry, they have Mac Jones as the backup. I think it's safe to know that team's going to suck for another 10 years too.
I'm not sure how Dallas Turner is still sitting here, but I think that the Raiders are totally fine on the edge. What they're not fine with is the offensive tackle position that I was going to go for earlier. Fuaga isn't Olu, but he's still in that A tier of tackles in this draft, so I will go Fuaga.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you think that trade was worth it for the Raiders?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Rams are up. Keith, you're back on the board. I think hear me out.
Go on, hear you out, but I can give them anybody here because they're in my division.
This is why I think you should go with Dallas Turner here. You just lost Aaron Donald.
Or Byron Murphy, one of the top two guys.
Or Byron Murphy. Dallas Turner or Byron Murphy. I don't think you can go wrong here.
Sure, go Dallas Turner then. They can have him. I wanted to give them Kool-Aid McKinstry, but go on.
He loves his Kool-Aid.
I just wanted to give them. They need a cornerback, and I just don't know, like, that's good enough. But.
Yeah, fair enough. Pittsburgh's on the clock here. Hear me out. They need help with offensive line. They could go corner here, but I think you need to help protect Russ. And I think it's
fine.
Yeah. I mean, you can go with JC Latham or you can go with Marius Mims. Gary, I think I did this last time. I think I had Mims over Latham, and I'm going with Mims again. I think Mims is the better pick here.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the tallest player in this draft, so he's an absolute unit. I don't hate that pick at all. I was actually going to go that same direction for Miami, but they need offensive tackle help no matter what, so I think I'm just going to go JC Latham here.
Okay.
Next best offensive tackle.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with those back-to-back picks here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so I remember I said about the Eagles that they just always seem to find hidden gems, grab the best player available that has fallen. So I think you already know what I'm going to do there, and I'm going to go Byron Murphy.
Even though they really don't need Byron Murphy, but they
didn't need Nolan Smith last year, and they still took him.
So we're back on the board. Vikings can't get anything. They can't get anything right in this draft. They tried so hard multiple times. Their next pick is in the 4th round. So this is where it gets interesting. They have to go with a quarterback here, or else they are not going to get a quarterback in this year's draft. The only other way is if they get like a Joe Milton, Jordan Travis type player. I think it's either between Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. I'm giving them Michael Penix Jr. I think that's the pick they need to go for.
Right.
And I think that's also another one you could have traded back to. I think Minnesota wouldn't find a trade back a little, get some more draft capital. But none of you want to trade. Cough, cough.
Well, I'm just thinking exactly who it is that would want to move into that spot.
I think it's anyone that needs a receiver, personally.
which you could argue is Dallas.
But I don't think Dallas is going to move up one spot. I think
right, exactly, and
they could. They could.
That's why I didn't even bother thinking about it.
Yeah, they could have to eliminate the opportunity of anyone trading up, but I think Buffalo could have traded up. I think Arizona could have traded up. Well, Arizona doesn't need it anymore. Who else? Green Bay could have traded up, or Baltimore.
Yeah, I was thinking about Buffalo, but I think they're stuck with one position that I will get to later. Okay. Dallas, I believe I had A.D. Mitchell going here. And I'm just thinking about it, like,
or do you want to really need?
Like, well, I don't really know. Because, they lost Tyron Smith. I mean, I'm obviously not thinking defense at all because they don't need that whatsoever.
And they did nothing in free agency.
Right. So, I mean, you could go for Tanu here.
I think in this one, as much as they could go for a receiver, I think they have to go with an offensive line to help protect Dak, in my opinion.
I think I'll agree with you.
Because their next pick is in the second round. They have all of their picks.
Right.
And I think in the second round is where I could see them going for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm going to go for Tanu here.
This is me trying to change the GM's minds.
No, I probably would have done that no matter what, honestly.
I'm on the clock here with Green Bay. They could go with Cooper DeJean. I do think they still need a receiver. And as much as I want to go with as much as I want to go for a receiver here, maybe on Donia Mitchell, I'm going to go with Cooper DeJean only because they have the 9th pick in the second round. So I think they're fine if they want to trade up. They can do that, but I think you need to take a corner. You need to help your defense. Tampa Bay's on the clock, and that is Mr. Keith. Keith, you've had some time to take a deep breath, relax after having all those picks. You're back on the clock.
Yeah. Go for now. Back on Tampa Bay, these guys, what do I think they need? I think they need edge, guard, running back. I'm guessing nobody's taking running back in the first round, though, because the class is not very good.
Yeah, the class is not the greatest. Trey Benson is supposed to. I've seen a lot of. I've seen. Wait, what?
I said I'm surprised.
What about running backs?
No, Trey Benson is top back.
Yeah, Trey Benson right now projected to be the top back in this year's draft, and that's in the late second round too.
Mm.
And he's the only one that's supposed to be in the late second round. The others are third round plus. I think personally, keep an eye out on Blake Corum or Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
But anyways, Keith, you could also go for some line to help protect Baker.
No, I don't want to help Baker. Baker,
he's self-sabotaging his own teams.
Yep. That's why you don't put me at GM of these teams, even my own team. Chop Robinson.
While you think Brendan's saying that he thinks Buffalo's either going to go for a wide receiver out of Oregon or the cornerback in Mr. Kool-Aid.
So remember when you called me crazy for thinking Troy Franklin was going to go 31 to the Niners?
Yeah. Listen, I'm on board.
Especially
now. Go the offensive tackles there for me, Fernando, please.
Oh, I got you. Offensive. You want inside offensive line or do you want offensive tackle?
Offensive tackle, please.
Tyler Guyton and Jordan Morgan's supposed to be the one that's supposed to be outside the first round. And then you also have in the inside, you have 2 of them that are projected to go in the first round as well. Which on my list. I think they need more inside.
Go inside then? I had Guyton, but he's way down my list.
Yeah. I think you can't go wrong with either one of these picks for the Bucks.
Jackson Powers Johnson?
Yeah. Either him or Barton. I think you can't go wrong with it.
I'll go for Jackson Powers Johnson. I mean, way I have it here is like there's one in between, so it doesn't matter.
Arizona on the clock here. Who's that? That's Keith again. Keith, you're on the board here, but I think you're getting a little call here. This is from Detroit. We're just trying to jump Buffalo. Do you have a position in mind that you're thinking about taking here?
Yeah.
I'm
not going to tell you. You need to make the call.
This Arizona really killing me here. I'm looking for a corner. Are you looking for a corner as well?
Show me the corners. Yeah, I'm looking for a corner. You know who I'm going to pick.
I'm looking for a corner. It's not Kool-Aid, but I'm looking to jump Buffalo.
I'll tell you what.
Are you listening? Are you open to listening?
I'm open to listening. Come on.
All right. I'm going to give you this opportunity. I'm going to have Arizona and then Detroit. I would like your 27th. I'd like to give you my 29th. And I'd also like to give you a sixth round pick.
I don't want a stingy 6th-round pick.
Well, you're going to take a stingy 6th-round pick.
Move it up.
What do you mean move it up?
Give me a better pick.
All right.
I'm a hard man to deal with here. Because we both want the same guy. So
what if I give you a 5th-round pick of next year?
No, it doesn't.
Arizona, stop being stingy with your picks.
I'm picking Kool-Aid McKinstry.
I don't hate that. That's actually a pretty good pick for the spot.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Is that who you want? Who did you want?
Yeah,
I know you did. I knew you were trying to sucker me into saying I don't want Kool-Aid.
I didn't know. I didn't know if Keith. I didn't know if you were going to go with Kool-Aid here, and I thought you maybe might have. So then I thought about maybe jumping to Tampa, and I said I might have been too late because Tampa could have got offensive tackle at wherever Detroit is right now. They could have got the same offensive tackle. That's another one you should watch out for because they could jump. They could jump to get Kool-Aid. Anyways, Gary, you're on the clock with Buffalo. Brendan is in the chat. He is. He. Be good. Be good to him.
Oh, I see him talking about.
Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
I think you need to take Bo Nix because let's be real. Josh Allen, he's a fraud. He sucks, and Josh Allen does not need to be an NFL quarterback anymore.
Right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is not listen to that whatsoever. I think Buffalo's got to go someone in the secondary.
Okay.
And I think this is where the top safety is going to come out of the draft, Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota.
Okay. I like that. I think it might have been what does Buffalo have in picks? Buffalo has the 20. Oh, they have the 28th in the 1st and 2nd round, and they don't have a 3rd. So
Brendan, I see you laughing in the chat, but I think I remember the last week when we did this, I also had Nubin going here, and you agreed with that spot. So I want to know what changed. I don't know what changed.
You know what changed? You know what changed? Troy Franklin changed because I think he's on board. I think he'd rather have a wide receiver here.
I don't hate that either. I was actually thinking of taking AD Mitchell there, so I don't mind that at all. But I just think that they're gonna. I didn't even see that, Brendan. I didn't even see that.
What? What did he
say? They sign. Did the Bills sign?
Oh, well, maybe. Is this me? No, it can't be Ladarius.
No.
No, let me look at Buffalo's depth chart real quick. Hold on. Let's fact check it. We have Raziel Douglas, Kier Elam. Oh, no, that's corner. Sorry, my fault. Taylor Rapp and Kendall Williamson. Those are the strong safeties. And then Mike Edwards, Cam Lewis, and DeMar Hamlin as the free safeties.
Pretty sure Taylor Rapp is with the Rams, so I don't know if that's who he's talking about. I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with Nubin, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go a wide receiver here at all.
Yeah, I mean, Troy Franklin could be one that they could eye, and do you think Troy Franklin might be too early, though?
Yeah, I do. And I think Troy Franklin plays maybe not exactly like, but he plays a lot like Gabe Davis. And I don't know if they're trying to go away from that kind of scheme or not. But, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they go wide receiver. I don't think it would be Troy Franklin, though.
Okay. Detroit is on the clock here. Kool-Aid went – I'm going to love saying Kool-Aid. Keith, I think this is going to be my guy for this year, Kool-Aid.
I think it's got to be, right?
We're going to have to mention him. See, here's the problem with Detroit. Detroit, they wanted a cornerback here. They could take an edge rusher. But the thing is, Detroit's picks. Detroit's picks, they have the 29th in the first, the 29th in the second, and a third, and then they don't have another pick until the fifth. So they could either address the edge position, they could go and reach for a corner if they really want to. I'm thinking of Damian Robinson or even Darius Robinson, whichever Robinson you prefer, whether it's from Penn State or Missouri. I was also thinking about taking Xavier Worthy here as the wide receiver 3 for them. Getting a nice speedy threat, I think, would be helpful for Detroit. Try to maybe make a run. But I think you're going to have to address the defense to keep the defense in check. David Robinson.
You just don't want my Chiefs to get Xavier Worthy. That's all I mean.
I really don't. But Xavier Worthy, I think, with this, here's the problem with Xavier Worthy. He's so fast. He can be a Tyreek Hill or he can be a John Ross. That's literally the scale right now of the fast receivers.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Xavier Worthy is like 6'2". So
yeah, John Ross is about 5'9" or something.
I think he's relatively tall. I actually think he's tall. So I don't know if I would necessarily say that he'd be like that, but I just think that with
Worthy's 5'11".
5'11".
Is he 5'11"? Really? I thought it was at least 6 foot.
Xavier Worthy's 5'11"?
Yep, 5'11".
You know who else is 5'11"? John Ross.
Oh, he is.
He is.
That worked out well, though.
Okay.
The comparison right there. He'd be another bust receiver.
That's what I mean.
We'll see. I think he's going to be good.
I really hope he's not like a John Ross, but I guess we'll see. Baltimore's up. Oh, that's me. Oh, I didn't even realize it was me. Baltimore's up. I think you're going to take it Donian Mitchell. I think it's a no-brainer. I want to go with Xavier Worthy, but I can't. I can't do it.
Show me offensive tackle, or are you already on offense? Oh, there we go. Tyler Guyton for the 49ers. Get some more.
Perfect. KC's on the clock here. KC, that's what? Gary, are you interested in moving this pick?
Serious?
I know you want Xavier Worthy, but do you really want Xavier Worthy?
I don't, but I know the Chiefs do.
I know. Are you going to take? You're not moving this pick?
Not the slightest.
Okay. Xavier Worthy wraps up this draft.
What about Franklin?
Oh, look at that. A+. Nice.
What about Franklin? Or here's another name for you, Fernando. Lad McConkey. Oh my God, that name.
McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
That's an interesting.
Same guy. He's the same player as Cooper Kupp.
All right, so going through these really quick based on fantasy value. Caleb Williams, are you in on him if he goes to the Bears?
Yes.
Sure. Bears tough.
I am. Yeah, but based on what they've gotten with Keenan Allen and everything, I know
they're stacked. They're stacked now.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm in on Caleb Williams. Drake May going to Washington. In or out?
I can't say that I'm in, but that's just me.
I'm out.
I'll go out. He seemed fine, but
based on his position in Washington, I just don't like it. Jaden Daniels, I'm out.
In just for you.
I'm in as well.
You guys suck. You guys literally suck. Marvin Harrison. I'm in. I think Kyler Murray is going to do well with Marvin Harrison if he does go to Arizona, and I think he'll thrive in Arizona. So I'm all in on Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a no-brainer.
The only concern is how high he's going in redrafts. He's projected to be a wide receiver 1 in redraft leagues right now.
Yeah, I'm obviously all in as an OSU fan, but let's just think about who's the closest comparison player that Kyler Murray has played with Marvin Harrison
Exactly.
Jr. I would say is D-Hop, and
Yeah.
look what he did with him. So
exactly, I'm buying I'm buying Kyler Murray
Are
anywhere.
you taking him round 1 in redraft though?
Marvin Harrison? No.
Nah.
That chance.
Marvin Harrison's the number 1 overall pick in Dynasty. But I think overall, I think Marvin Harrison should be a 3rd round pick in redraft. I think that is good value.
It's going to be the whole Bijan Robinson thing all over again. Just
that's the problem. That's the problem. If he's like late 1st, early 2nd, I can't spend that much on a rookie. I mean, he could do well. Don't get me wrong, but he could do well. But I'm just concerned on that.
I need to see it first. That's why I like. And if I'm too late to the party, then fine. But I need to see it first.
Yeah, agreed. Malik Neighbors going to the Chargers. I'm also all in on this.
Yep.
They obviously need receivers, so.
Mm-hmm.
I am as well. In this environment, he very much could lead the league in rookie receiving yards this year.
JJ McCarthy. I'm sorry, but if he goes to the Giants, as much as I want to be all in, I'm all out.
Giants suck. I think he'll end up somehow at the Vikings, but I know that's what you're trying to do. But I just like how they suck with Daniel Jones, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I personally think McCarthy will also end up a Viking, but especially with all this spewing up of McCarthy might be selected at 6 to the Giants. I don't really know where he's going to go, but yeah, I'm not buying on JJ McCarthy no matter what. So.
Okay. Brian Thomas here. I want to hear your thoughts on him first going to the Falcons.
You skipped Joe Alt. That was mean of him. You.
For fantasy purposes. I don't think Joe Alt is going out there catching passes.
Might.
Brian Thomas. Gary, we'll start with you first.
Yeah, I mean, if he truly did go to Atlanta, I would be relatively in. I don't know if I'd say all in, but you saw what Kirk Cousins did with the LSU receiver one time. So who knows?
Keith, are you in or out?
Milo says I'm in, apparently. Of course I'm in. I mean, gotta just throw a spanner in the works somewhere. Like, there's going to be players that we've picked in these 32 that are not going to make it into this round. So I'm just throwing a spanner here. I think Dunze was probably the pick, but I'm just going with something different. We got to lighten it up a little bit.
I think Brian Thomas, if he goes to the Falcons, I think he's going to be another Seattle Seahawks JSN, and that's the issue. For fantasy purposes, love Brian Thomas going to the Falcons. Yeah, talented and everything, but I think for fantasy purposes, Brian Thomas, I'm going to have to be out on. We saw what JSN did. Maybe you draft him in Dynasty and he's a 2-year wait, but I can't wait 2 years if I'm trying to win now in leagues. But redraft, I'm out. Rome Odunze in the Jets, I'm all in. Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy for more than 4 plays. I'm all in.
Keith, you want to go in on that?
I mean, talented dude, yeah. I just think the Jets suck. I think they'll always be like the Bears. You can go on about Caleb when they're stacked and all that. I think they'll always find ways to lose until they prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't hate that. But personally for me, I'm all in because I think that, like Fernando said, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he's going to get his guys the ball and do what he's done this entire career.
And then we go into the one trade, because none of you wanted to trade anymore. Brock Bowers goes to the Bengals. This was the Raiders pick. Raiders and Bengals flip picks. Raiders still get an offensive line that they wanted, but they just didn't get Fashanu. Bowers going to the Bengals. My only concern is, does T. Higgins stay there? Do they draft a wide receiver in this spot? I think they're going to be fine if they get Bowers, and I think I'm in for him. But I just hope he doesn't go as high and people are like overhyping him like they did with Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I like the pick for them. They don't got a tight end since he anyways. So they need one. I just don't know if they need to trade up to get it. That's my only question mark.
Yeah, I would agree. I think in terms of Brock Bowers' fantasy status, I would be all in. For the Bengals, however, I'm not sure if that would be the best move for them. I would say both in trading up and drafting him. But, I mean, if they're confident in the offensive line that they have right now, because I think that's the only other position in question in their and they're thinking that they can get what they want in later rounds, or they're thinking of trading up to the end of the first, whatever, then yeah, I don't mind the pick at all. But I think that and the tackle position is really what their two positions of need are.
Michael Penix goes to the Vikings at 23. I think he's going to start right away. So personally, I think he is going to be the better fantasy asset quarterback than Drake May or Jaden Daniels, in my opinion.
I'll let you take that one, Gary.
I'm not necessarily sure, to be completely honest with you, if he'll start right away.
Okay.
I know that he was hurt. He's been hurt his entire career, but he also got hurt in the national championship game.
Okay.
I think the Vikings would not necessarily make that the deal breaker in terms of why he wouldn't start right away, but I think they would want him to get a little bit of backup time first, and then maybe halfway into the season or so, he would come in. If the Vikings want to see what would happen with the rest of the team prior to that, I don't even know if they're going to start with Sam Darnold. So I think the Vikings status is still up in the air.
Okay.
I still think he has a good chance to start. All right. But as Gary said, I think he's a bit fragile. I think that's an issue.
Okay. I can see the fragileness being a question. But for fantasy purposes, Michael Penix can run. So I like him there. To finish off, Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy, both from Texas. I don't know. I think you can't go wrong with these two. I think if Xavier Worthy, though, goes to Kansas City, I think for dynasty purposes, they're going to be like, wow, Xavier Worthy going to Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. Xavier Worthy is going to be a wide receiver one there with Sky Moore. I'm going to be out on Xavier Worthy, and I think they're going to be more shadowing Adonai Mitchell. And that's why I'm going to be in on Mitchell and out on Worthy for fantasy purposes.
I'm definitely in on Worthy with his speed and Mahomes. I think, to me, that's just kind of obvious for me. Mitchell, I think it's definitely it's a good landing spot. It just depends what Lamar kind of turns up with the running and all. But yeah, I like the moves. I like both. I mean, I'm both.
I'm for sure an unworthy, especially in dynasty leagues, because obviously his size and speed and Mahomes throwing him the ball, but also the fact that do we really have 3 more years of Kelsey coming out? Do we really know? I mean, he's not going to be the number one target there much longer. And once he's gone, I think that opens up so many opportunities for a guy that'll probably be in the league for 2 or 3 years. So I think that would be a great move, and I'm all in there, at least in terms of dynasty. AD Mitchell, I think it'll take a little bit of time for him to get work, because I think he's another Zay Flowers kind of guy who we know is talented, but he didn't really burst on the scene until mid to end of the season.
Okay. Quick question before we wrap up. Travis Kelce, once he retires, is Patrick Mahomes still going to be as good as he is now?
I mean, of course it's going to take a part away from him, but I think you'd be an idiot to say that Kelce made Mahomes, or that he would be terrible without him. I wouldn't necessarily say he'd be 100% the same, because you don't always have Travis Kelce in your back pocket. But I think that he'll still be the Patrick Mahomes that we've seen.
Yeah, I agree. I still think he'll be a top guy. I mean, if you take away all the drops that the receivers had, Mahomes would look even better last year. So, you know, that was more on the receivers than Mahomes. So I think Mahomes will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I was curious to see. I think we're going to start to see maybe next year or even the year after that they're going to start taking more tight ends in drafts. Try and find the next Travis Kelce.
Sam Laporta could be, though.
Yeah, they could trade for Sam Laporta.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an interesting one. Once Detroit wins it once. If they win it once. But that's going to do it for this week's show. Of course, we had the NFL mock draft, the second one of Sports Time HQ. This time it was with Keith and as well as Gary. Of course, we talk some NFL rule changes. Make sure to go back and see those. And then make sure to leave a subscribe and a like on YouTube or on Facebook, or go check us out on social media at SportsTime HQ. I was joined by my two great co-hosts, Keith. You can follow him all over social media at SwampDonkey_90, and go follow Gary at Gary.Dombeck. If you haven't done so already, go to Underdog Fantasy. Use code SportsTimeHQ. They'll match first deposit up to $100. And if you're still looking for a trophy ring or a belt, go to TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. I'm your host, Fernando, and I will see you all next week.